Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is me going with Q2 of the bi-weekly contest 150, separate squares. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord, let me know what you think about this one. Yeah, this one is kind of a tricky binary search problem. It shouldn't be that bad, honestly, but I struggled with it during the contest. I had two wrong answers. Just out of carelessness, I blame it on the fact that I just had woken up and my brain was not ready for this problem. But okay, but the first thing to know that is that n is small ish, 5 times 10 to the 4th. So as long as you keep it reasonable, it should be okay. And then the other thing is just that, yeah, I think that's the only other thing. And as a result, you could do binary search on the answer. And I think number one question I often get is that how do you know it's a binary search question? And honestly, the answer is I don't always know. The way that I think about it in terms of for these kind of prompts is that I guess, right? And what I mean by that is just that I say, okay, if this is a binary search problem, can I solve this in, or do I have a function that takes at worst O of n times, for at least for this n, if it takes O of n time, we run log n loop or something like that, or a fixed number of loops, and then we can do binary search, right? So it meets the criteria of that. Okay, if we can find an O of n algorithm that kind of allow us to kind of figure out a function, then we're good, right? So that's basically my idea, right? That's how I approach these problems, is that I go, is it a binary search? And I go, okay, these things have to happen for binary search, and I just go through it. And sometimes the answer is no, and I want to bring it up and talk about it because sometimes, it may seem magical, but no, it's just that, like, I think about it, it's not binary search. I try another thing, right? And when I try another thing, if it's not binary search, you may not see that it is. You may not see that I thought about it being binary search and was just wrong, right? Because usually, or maybe not usually, but often anyway, at least on this difficulty level, if it's binary search, the function is pretty, at least for me, it's simple for me, right? But yeah, so this one, excuse me, I guess is this binary search, and I was like, okay. The thing is that with a function like this, it seems pretty straightforward to get the area under and get the area below, right? For every square. The 3 cases, I think it's pretty, and we'll draw it out, but I think it's pretty straightforward, those 3 cases for each square, and then it just sum over all the squares, right? Because of overlaps. And that's basically the idea. And let me draw it out real quick, for y'all who always ask about visualization. I think for these problems, I like to draw it out, but I feel like it's also, I don't know. You could also draw it out at home without me doing it, right? Like, I think it's fine. But there are only 3 cases, right? So let's say you try an arbitrary, pretend that's a straight line. All right, let me just actually, okay. So an arbitrary line, there are really only 3 type of squares, right? There is, let me change the color. Okay, fine. I don't like to write like that. There's a square that is totally under, there's a square that's totally above, and then there's squares that are half in between. And for this problem, we want the above and the below to be exactly the same. And you could, without loss of generality, you can set it up in a number of ways. But it also means that for me, I set up, I actually don't remember how I set this up. We'll go through the code together, but they're all the same, which is why I don't remember. It's not because, and the way that you can set up is that, well, in this case, that means that the bottom has to be half, right? Okay, so what does that mean? That means that if the bottom is greater than half, then we want to move this line. Let me change the color again, actually. Then we want to move this line down because that means that the area will become smaller and closer to half. If the area is greater than half, then we want to move this line up because then we want to add more area to it, right? So that's basically the idea for this. And the math, honestly, I struggle with this a bit. I don't know. Like I said, I just woke up. But as long as you're very clear, then it'll be okay. Keeping in mind that this is this is y, and this is y plus L, right? Then here, if given this line, if this line is totally above, or I guess on y plus L, then you count the entire square, right? If of course, if this point is y, if this is above y, then this is 0, right? Because you just, for me, I'm counting the numbers below. So the tricky part is this part, and you could do an if statement, right? Because this is y plus L. So if this line is in between, then now, well, you know what this line is. I'd call it t for target. Then now you just have t minus y is here, and then the length is L, right? And there you go. That's the area. That's basically it. Like I said, I made a lot of mistakes, so I say it's simple, as in I feel like it's easy to understand, but the implementation is still, at least for me, a little bit tricky. Or at least I was just being silly. Part of it is that I'll tell you why for a second. Is that I mixed up the x and the y. I just kind of wrote it really fast because I was like, I honestly during the contest I knew how to do it immediately-ish, and I wrote it really fast. I don't know, I wasn't awake enough for it. And so that was for one wrong answer. And then the second wrong answer is I didn't think about the upper bound enough. And so I don't know, I just got it wrong. I think this is not even that tight, but it doesn't even matter because I do a fixed range. So okay, so this is one trick that I would recommend for people. I don't know if it's quite a trick, but it's just that for me, it's actually, I don't know. I've always written it this way, give or take, and I always find it to be a little bit better. You could make it a little bit more optimized in terms of speed, and sometimes you do get bitten by, at least in Leetcode, because Leetcode is silly and they do sum of execution time, by the total execution time, and you may run into runtime issues. But I try generally for functions in which the result is a full, I actually usually just choose a fixed loop. The reason is because after 100 loops, so we're doing binary search, right? So after one loop, your space is here, and it goes half of it. So then after 10 loops, then now it's going to be 2 to the 10, which is 1,000 times less, right? So after 20 loops, it's going to be 1,000,000. So you choose getting a space in 1 in 1,000,000, and so actually for, I forget, where is it? Oh. Okay, this is an absolute number, so it actually is a little bit awkward. Usually you want it to be percentage instead, but Leetcode is always silly anyway. But in any case, yeah, so 20 will give you 1,000,000 like 1 in 1,000,000 position, right? As the math that we talked about. So if you do 40, it's gonna be 1,000,000 square, which is 1,000,000,000. Right, so that should be probably good enough. But and as a result, I just do another 60 loops just to make it sure, right? Yeah, so that's how I usually do it. And the reason why is because, well, it's imprecise, right? But we're gonna actually have this, and it'll be okay. It should be okay. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Wow, this already looks. I think that's just rounding, though. But let's see. That'd be funny if it just shows up wrong and I like contradict myself. But no, yeah. But I always do a little bit more. I don't know, just how I've always done it. I don't know that that's right. Anyway, so that's the binary search. Very straightforward. Now that you know why I chose this, and this is the left bound. This is the lower bound and the upper bound. The upper bound I initially chose 1E9 because that's the bound, but then I was rushing it because I thought, okay, well, y can only go up 10E9, but but the biggest number is actually y plus L, right? So it's actually 10 to the 9 times 10, or plus 10 to the 9. So it should be 2 times 10 to the 9. But I was just like, all right, I'm not going to, I think 2 times 10 to the 9 is right, but I'm not going to risk it and just run 1 to the 10 to the 10. But in any case, yeah. And then this is the good thing, right? As we said, this is just for each square. We go for each square. We have technically 3 scenarios, but the third one is you go to current, it's a no op, right? So that means that target is greater than y, or even you go to, right? And we drew it out. So yeah, and this is pretty much what we talked about. If it's entirely below, we square it. If it's partially, then this is just the delta y times, which is the height, times the width, which is the L, right? And I do an early termination if the sum is, I don't know. I've been trying to do this more often, but if it's bigger, then we just return true. Otherwise, we return true in the last loop. So I think this is not super necessary, but I don't know, just in case. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is gonna be O of n, right? Like I hope I don't have to explain this. Oh, and I do sum up the total of all the squares at the beginning. So yeah. And this is 50 times O of n, so this is O of n. You could also say log d, where d is the number of digits or something like that, and you could say that's the position you want maybe. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and you could watch me solve it live in a contest next. That extra second of pause, I was like, did I mess something up? But sounds very binary searched. I was trying to find the number, but okay, it's just equal. Okay, well. Good is if it's greater than, so it's greater than, we want something smaller. It's not quite that now, it's okay. Okay, how do I do square intersection? Man, my math is not waking up yet. Okay, so we're doing target. And this is above the line. Else. I have to wake up. No, it's above. Okay, let's just do above then, right? No, it's under. Let's do under. That's easier. One and one. Okay, that's not right. I mess up. If it's greater than half. I mean, that's not right, is it? Oh no, this is. Math is hard. If it is in between. Oh, this isn't right. This is this times L. Yep. Oh, why is this? Still though, why? So this is the target, everything is under, right? Did I mess this up again? I mean, this is more right, but it's wrong. Why is it wrong? Because we're choosing the biggest number. That's why this is wrong. So easy to get wrong. I should have gotten this by now, but okay. Focus. Okay, so here's the line. Target is the line. Here's over X. So it's under, right? Oh no, this is bad. Okay. Okay, so now, but then we want the minimum, right? So it's exactly, we want to go down, I guess. Yeah. That's hard. Am I confident? Eh. I wouldn't be surprised if it's wrong, just because of rounding situations. Yeah. It should be. This one is so annoying to do the rounding though, that's why. But maybe I'm wrong on that one. I think the idea is right, but why am I wrong on this though? This should not be hard. So I should have kept that in. Why is this? Should have stayed in bed, maybe. $12.9 plus 16 is 25, okay. What am I doing wrong? Overlap should be counted multiple times. That's right. The minimum Y. Okay. Why am I so bad at this? People have gotten it, so it's not like. So it should be 30 something, right? What? If target is in between the width. So this is the under greater than half. I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? What can possibly be wrong? This is not. This should not be hard. Oh, what's Q2? Oh, should be counted only once. If you already got it. I don't know why I'm doing so poorly. Well. Oh, is it because I'm confusing X and Y? I am I? Oh, I am. Oh, man, why you do that, Leetcode? I was like, I wasn't using Y at all. I didn't know that you. Oh man, I'm making so many mistakes, but. Oh, it's Y plus L, so it's 2 times. Oh man, this is the one time that I'm a little bit lazy on the upper bound, and I ate it. If it times out, that'll be very sad. Okay. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about this problem and this contest and this explanation, everything in between. Yeah, stay good, stay healthy to good mental health. I'll see you all later and take care. Bye bye.